Namaste and Satnam yogis. I'm Tracy and this is Yoga Union, where people unite in a quest for wellness of body, mind, and spirit. Whether you're a yoga virgin or a seasoned practitioner, Tracy's Yoga Union has a place for your mat. So let's roll those mats out and get started. Our flow today will focus on gratitude. A heart that is full of gratitude is a magnet for miracles. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Bring those palms to heart center, finding a comfortable seat, letting the spine straighten and lift up from those hips. Allow those shoulders to relax down. Level out that chin. And when you're ready, gently close those eyes. And there will be several times throughout our class where our palms will be at heart center. And so when our palms are at heart center, I invite you to just bring all the things that you are grateful for to mind and to heart. Great things and small things. Simple things and incredible things. Be it this moment, your health, your family, maybe the water you had a drink of before we started class. And just enjoy all those big and small thoughts of things that fill your heart and your mind with gratitude. A grateful heart is a place that creates miracles. And as we settle in for our practice, we'll be doing first some Yan yoga, yoga that moves and heats us up, that strengthens our muscles, increases our flexibility. And then we'll do a little Yin yoga, yoga that cools us down, slows us down, works on those connective tissues in between all those muscles and bones. Gently release those palms to our knees. We're actually going to start with just a small Kundalini Kriya that increases the capacity of our heart and lungs. The movement will seem very familiar. It's seated cat and cow, but we'll also add to that breath retention and a small mudra with the tip of our tongue. But let's just get used to the movement first. And so for seated cat-cow, we would inhale and open that heart center. We'd exhale and we'd round keep that movement rocking, inhaling and exhaling, moving that spine. Now as we're moving and still breathing here, we're going to bring the tip of the tongue to the upper palate. And we'll just hold the tip of the tongue there. Our goal is to direct the energy that we're creating in this Kriya to the crown of our head. And so with that movement going and with that mudra, your tip of your tongue, not right behind the teeth, but a little bit further back than that. On your next inhale, hold that breath and keep the movement going. When you can't hold your breath any longer, just pause the movement. You can keep the tongue in the mudra. Exhale, take another inhale, and begin that movement again, holding the breath for as long as you can. Pausing when you need to exhale. And inhale that breath again, really fill up that low belly. And start those movements. Please finish the one that you're on. Bring those palms back to heart center. Bring in those thoughts of the things small and great for which your heart and mind are filled with gratitude. And then release, and we'll meet in tabletop. If you'd like to learn more about that Kundalini Kriya to build heart and lung capacity, it's in my Kundalini playlist on Tracy's Yoga Union of YouTube. All right, let's line some things up here in our cat-cow. So knees and hips, really planting the tops of the feet into the mat. Wrists and shoulders, spreading those fingertips wide and really grounding through the fingertips, and then pull up on that low belly. Let's move in cat-cow here just to feel it again with that breath. So inhale, drop that low belly, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the chin and round that back. As we were doing that Kriya for heart and lung capacity, it's that breath retention and that movement focusing on that heart and lung area that really increases the capacity of those things in our body. One more round of cat-cow, and we'll bring that spine right back to neutral. In our gratitude flow, we did some bird dog, and we're going to introduce that to our flow for gratitude. Just changing it up a bit here. So as we start, I'm going to move a little forward on my mat here. Reestablish my alignment. And I'm going to stretch out through the right leg, keeping my toes on the mat. Those hip points are also facing the mat. And I want to start to feel that stretch and increase in the length of my body, all the way from those toes to the crown of my head. And then from here, we're going to stretch out through the left fingertips, keeping the right toes still on the mat. And now feel that stretch from toes to crown to fingertips. And then on an inhale, gently lift that right leg, keeping those toes pointed towards the mat. Really stretching from fingertips to heel. Now we're going to bring elbow and knee into heart center on an exhale. Tuck that chin and head as well. Inhale, come back to our bird dog. Exhale, round it into heart center. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round it into heart center. One more. Exhale, extend. Now let's bring it down in stages. Bring that hand down first. Then the toes. Then the knee. Come on up to standing on our knees. Inhaling, arms out, up, and then those palms to heart center. Resting here for a moment. Again, bringing in those ideas of what makes our heart and mind fill with gratitude. Things great and small. Down to our tabletop and try that sequence on the other side. Reminding ourselves that a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. All right, stretching out through the left leg. First, those toe tips rather, are on the mat. But feel that extension, extending through that left leg, through the crown where we were sending that energy with our tongue mudra in our little kriya at the start of class. Engaging, pulling in and up on those low abs. Then we extend out through the right hand, right fingertips, keeping the toes on the mat first. Continuing to feel that extension from toes, crown to fingertips. And then on an inhale, we gently lift that left leg. Keep those toes pointing towards the mat. And now we'll bring elbow, knee, and tuck our head to heart center. So do that as you exhale. Inhale, extend back out in bird dog. Exhale, bring it into heart center. Exhale, extend out. Into heart center. Exhaling. Inhaling, we extend out. Then we'll put it down in steps. So our right hand down first. Left toes, then the knee, standing back up up on those knees. Inhaling, arms up and overhead. Bringing those palms to heart center along with those ideas of things small and great for which we are grateful. Coming back to tabletop, walking those hands out a bit, curling those toes under, push back into our first downward dog. You can keep the dog still or do any kind of movements here that continue to warm and awaken the body, increase our flexibility, build strength in this jhana portion of our yoga. And we'll start to walk those feet up to our hands. Hands from near the top of our mat. Oh, we can just let the body hang like a rag doll. Again, staying motionless here or swaying a bit from side to side. Increasing the weight of the upper body by grabbing onto opposite elbows. And then on an inhale, we're going to come halfway up. Flat back, palms resting on our shin. Next exhale, forward fold and sink. Inhale, arms out, up overhead, look up, stretch up. Exhale, bringing palms together, hand to heart center. Reflecting on those things for which we're grateful. With those palms at heart center, we're going to step the left foot back. And we want to imagine that our feet are on railroad tracks as opposed to a balance beam. So there's a good bit of distance, a comfortable bit of distance between them. And then they're also not in alignment. The back feet are flat and kind of angled. Toes pointing more towards the front, but kind of off to the side of the mat there. Gonna get a nice bend in that front knee. Front of the body facing that bent knee, palms still at heart center. Maybe a little tilt there of the hips so as not to round in that low back. And here we're in Warrior One. Bringing in those ideas of all of the things, activities, thoughts, objects, people that bring us gratitude. Release those palms down, sweep them up, overhead, and then sweep them back down. Clasp those hands behind your back. And then open up that heart center. Really squeeze those shoulder blades together. You can let that head drop back if it's comfortable for the neck. On an exhale, we start to hinge forward. Keeping that knee bent, we're going to rest the body on that bent knee. Fingers are still clasped. They can rest on the back, or they can arc up and over in our grateful warrior. Inhale, keep that knee bent. open that heart center, squeezing those shoulder blades together, dropping that head back if it's okay for your neck. And then exhale, coming back into that grateful or exalted warrior. Doing whatever is comfortable with the hands. They're still clasped, but they might be resting on your back or lifting away. Knee is still bent, but we'll inhale up. Keeping that back straight this time. Sweep those arms up overhead. Exhale, bring those palms to heart center. Thoughts of gratitude. And knee can still be bent. Let's frame that front foot. Step that right foot back. Finding our dog. Remember that dog, you should see yourself as a triangle here. So making any adjustments so that image in your mind is the triangle. Then we can scoot those feet back a bit and come into plank. From plank, you can ease on down to your belly, or you can come down to knees first, and then on to our belly. Now from here, we can start with our forehead rested on the mat, tops of our feet on the mat. But we're actually going to bring our hands off the mat, out to either side. Going to have those fingers kind of making tents on the mat, or excuse me, on the floor, out to the sides of your mat. And then on an inhale, we're going to lift head, neck, chest, and shoulders. So our Cobra here, a little variation. Really dragging those shoulders back, pushing into those fingertips. And then on an exhale, we're just going to dip that right shoulder down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, dip that left shoulder down. You can also look to the opposite side. Inhale up. Exhale, the right shoulder down, looking to the opposite side. Inhale up. Exhale, that left shoulder down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, lift. On this next exhale, just start to ease all the way down. Turn your head to one side, releasing those arms down to your side. You can let the toes of the feet kind of come together and the heels flap out, allowing that low back to release. And in those backward bending postures, we're also opening up that heart center. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Let's put the tops of the feet back on the mat. Bring the forehead back to the mat. Arms in at our sides with those elbows bent. Tuck your toes. Go ahead and push back into our downward dog. We'll do that warrior and exalted or grateful warrior flow on the opposite side. So walk our feet on up to our hands. Once you're close to the top of that mat, just let that body hang like a rag doll. And keep it still or move. Maybe try the opposite this time. Use that inhale. We'll come just halfway up that forward fold again. Little bend in those knees as we inhale, sweep those arms out, up, overhead, look up, stretch up. Exhale, bring those palms together, resting them at heart center. Bringing those things that create gratitude in your heart. Fill that heart with those things. Keeping those palms at heart center, we'll step our right foot back this time. Again, like we're on railroad tracks. So if we were on a balance beam, the feet from front to back would be in a line. So here, they're a little off. We've got good distance, but comfortable distance in between those legs. We want to sink into that left knee, that back foot, a little angled so the toes are kind of coming at an angle there. Front of the body is facing that front bent knee, those palms at heart center, thoughts of gratitude. Building strength in this warrior. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhale, sweep them out. Clasping your hands behind your back and then opening up that heart center. Tilting the head back if it's okay for your neck. And then exhaling as we come forward. Resting the front of the body on that bent leg. Arcing those clasped arms, fingers over, or allowing them to rest on the back. Work within the capacity of your shoulders here for our grateful or exalted warrior. Use an inhale, keeping that knee bent. Come on up. Open that heart center again. Exhale, let's exalt that grateful warrior. Inhale, lifting with that knee still bent, sweeping those arms up. Exhaling, palms to heart center for thoughts of gratitude. Looking down to frame that front foot. Stepping that left foot back to find our downward dog. And then maybe scooching those feet back and finding plank. And then from plank, we can lower all the way down to the mat. This time we'll prepare for Cobra and then Sphinx pose. So for Cobra, tops of feet, forehead, hands with elbows bent are at our sides. On your inhale, start to lift that head, neck, chest, and shoulders to find our Cobra. Sometimes helps to feel like you're dragging those elbows back to your waist. Any creases in the back of the neck, remove those by changing the hold of that chin. And let's come on to our forearms. So elbows here, lining up with our shoulders. Kind of pushing those elbows into the mat, trying to drag ourselves forward with them. Really engaging through the hips, tops of the feet. And again, any creases in the back of that neck, change the position of the chin. So those are all gone. Couple more breaths, inhaling and exhaling through that nose here in our Sphinx pose. Next exhale, just start to lower down, turning your head in the opposite direction, resting those arms at your side, maybe letting the toes come together, allowing that low back to release. The body to rest. Let's bring tops of feet, forehead, palms. Tuck those toes. Push back into our downward dog. And this time from dog, we want to walk our hands back to our feet. We really want to widen the stance of our feet. You can even turn those toes out a bit. Maybe the middle of the feet are on the edges of the mat there. Coming down into our Yogi Squat. Maybe using those elbows to open up the legs. And then again, bringing those palms to heart center. Here, lifting through the crown, crown to tail. And if the Yogi Squat is difficult for you, you could grab a book or a block and place that there as a small seat. Using our Yogi Squat here to bring in those thoughts of gratitude. Things small and great, little and amazing. Anything that brings you gratitude. Real graceful way here. Coming out of that squat, we're going to make our way onto our backs for the yin portion, where we're really going to slow it down. We're going to change our focus from strength building and stretching and from heating things up to cooling it down and focusing more on those connective tissues between the muscles and the bones and making those healthy places. Now in our yin poses, we could hold them anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. For time's sake, we're going to hold each one a minute, but I certainly would invite you to come back to this portion of the class and increase your hold in these great poses for maybe 2 minutes the next time, 3, 4, and up to 5. And so we'll use our timer here to make sure we're holding it for a minute on each side. So just coming on down to those backs. Making sure we're comfortable here first in those backs. And then we'll move into Reclined Butterfly. So Bringing the soles up towards the groin. The soles are touching, and then allowing those knees to open up to the sides. And if it's not comfortable to let those knees just be free as they're opening up, you can find some props at first that would support. So we want to find a bit of a threshold where we are increasing our capabilities here, but not pain. So if it's painful in our reclined butterfly, find some props to maybe put under the knees or the mid of the thighs there. And then just let that mind focus on gratitude. And that was a quick minute, so I'm gonna let it go one more minute here. Let us really sink into this first yin pose. Alright, on an inhale, just start to bring those knees together, soles of the feet onto the mat. And we'll do half saddle pose. So we're going to extend the left leg down to the mat. I'm going to scooch that right foot in and maybe even off to the side a little bit. And then we're going to let that bent right knee drop inward. So making any adjustments there, whether it's where the foot is placed, any props. We'll hold this half saddle on the right side for a good minute. Lift up that right knee and then stretch out that right leg. Bend the right knee, bringing that foot close up to the bottom and maybe out a bit to the left. And then on an exhale, let that left bent knee drop inward, making any adjustments or props underneath the knee. twist on this side. Next inhale, bring head and knees to center. And our last position here is going to be legs up. So just straighten those legs, the soles of the feet pushing towards the ceiling. So engaging here, not being passive, but we're engaging those connective areas, the areas that connect our bones, our muscles. And then be still. Exhale, bend those knees, hug them into your chest. Maybe some rocking from side to side, or drawing some big circles with those knees in one direction. And then change the direction of those circles. Drop those feet down and stretch out those legs. Relax those arms at your side, taking up as much or as little space in Shavasana. Quiet body, quiet mind, creating a grateful heart that will be your magnet for miracles. Stay in Shavasana for as long as the body is still, the mind is quiet and conscious, making it truly a meditation. And when you're ready to release, just bringing those little wiggles to fingers and toe tips, stretching out from those fingers and toe tips. And then maybe bringing palms and soles together to create some nice heat. Dropping those feet, placing those warm hands on your closed eyes and opening those eyes there first. You can roll to one side or massage that spine maybe a little bit. Some rock and rolls before coming back where we started. That cross-legged, easy seated pose with palms at heart center. Namaste.